Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is a little different video. I was tagged by the little cutie Courtney K. I'll link her channel down below, but she's a fellow YouTuber, and I'm sure you guys know who she is already. But basically, she tagged me on a fun tag to do. It's called, Is It Worth the Splurge Tag? And I believe in her video, she had mentioned that Mariamakesup, I think that's the name of it, and I'll link her down below too, but I think she was the creator of this tag. So I'll link both girls down below. If you're not already subscribed to them, please go and check out their channel. They both have great videos. They're both project planners, but they do tutorials. They do empty videos, hauls. So they are both a joy to watch. Maria, as soon as you see her come on camera, her eyes are just these gorgeous, piercing, like cat eyes. She's just like those cat green eyes. And Courtney just has such a sweet camera presence about her. And she's got those lashes, Courtney, that she'll never have to wear false lashes ever in her life because her lashes just go on and on and on. So, but no, I enjoy both of their videos and they're both so sweet. So I will link them again, like I said, down in the description box below, so for you to check them out. But so the tag is basically what the title is. So it's worth the splurge tag. So basically, you know, you're given a bunch of categories and you basically answer, is that category worth the splurge? So I have my little list. Here. So I'll have to be, like I always do, look at my little notes. Okay, so before I get started, I just wanted to say my view or my idea of what higher end is would be anything that's in Sephora, so the Sephora store, and also I would say, like, you know, when you go into Ulta and it's basically divided into two sections, one's like the drugstore and you have like the NYX products and all that, on the other end is all like their prestige brands like Lorac, Urban Decay and all them. I would consider those the higher end. So I don't know if everyone else views it the same way. And obviously, yeah, like CVS, drugstore and all that. So I just wanted to put that out there before I got started. So the first category is on face wash. So would I splurge on face wash? I really think skincare is very important. So, and it's not saying that you can't find things in the drugstore that work good for you. I'm just going by like the stuff that I have used in the past, or maybe that I'm currently using that I really like, that I know that I would spend the money on. And face wash, I think I could get away with. I wouldn't splurge on the face wash, only because during the day or in the morning time, my face is still pretty much clean from the night before because I use my Clarisonic. If I didn't use my Clarisonic to get like that deep cleaning, because I think even though the cleanser that I use works well, but I think it's the Clarisonic obviously that does most of the job as far as getting all the dirt and extra, any kind of other makeup that I still might have on. So when I wake up in the morning, my face, other than just maybe the oils from just, sleeping overnight I have on my face, I've already cleaned my face to death the night before with the Clarisonic. So the face wash, I would say I wouldn't splurge on. Toner, that's the next category. Would I splurge on toner? I would say yes, only for the fact that the toner that I really, really think works great on my skin, and again, it's also too just testing out different products, but the toners that I have purchased in the drugstore just have not worked for me. The best one that I've had so far that works the best on my skin is the one by Estee Lauder. It's the Estee Lauder like mattifying one, and I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, but I got it at a CCO store or an outlet, and it is discontinued, but that is like the best toner that worked on my skin. So I would say toner, yes, I would splurge on that. The next item was Serums and Treatments. Now, Serums and Treatments. I honestly would say no, because the serum that I've used for as far as like pores and stuff like that is the L'Oreal Youth Code Texture Perfector. I think I mentioned that before too. That works really good on my skin. And that's obviously it's L'Oreal, so it's drugstore. So I would say no. I would say that I'm sure you can find some stuff that a drugstore brand that work just as fine. Moisturizer, I would say Splurge. And again, going back to the fact that the one that works best on my skin is by MAC. It's the oil mattifying or oil control lotion. And so that works really, really good on my skin. That's probably worked the best on my skin. So I would say for moisturizer, yes, I would say Splurge. Face masks are the next. I sound like a slithering snake. Face masks are the next category, and I would say Splurge on that. I love the face masks that I use, and they are on the higher end, but I enjoy all of them, and I think they are worth the money. Face oils, for me, no. Big no. And I know there's like and I'm sure that it does work, whatever. The whole thing with if you have oily skin, you should use oils because it counteracts the oil that you have. And I have tried a couple of oils and I just do not like them. At nighttime, it's fine, you know, because again, I'm going to sleep so I could care less what my face, you know, is looking like. It could be a complete oil pit and I don't care because I'm going to bed. But that's not something I would purchase. That's not something I would splurge the money on for face oil for me. The next thing is foundation. I am still on the hunt or in the testing phase of using and trying out, or still, you know, getting new ones or whatever, to see what foundation is considered my holy grail foundation. I still have not found that yet, but I will say with the ones that I have, there have been a couple of drugstore ones that work, you know, pretty good for my skin. So foundation, honestly, I would say no, I wouldn't splurge on. Concealer is a definite no for me. I would not splurge on concealer. I don't do a lot of like spot concealing at all. And like I've mentioned before in my other videos, I don't have dark under eyes. In fact, if anything, it's the opposite. I have very light and then I have dark spots underneath here. So the stuff that I can find at a drugstore, whatever, it just does, you know, it helps a little bit. I mean, you can still see through my makeup. I'm still trying to work on how to eliminate the discoloration completely, but I have tried higher end concealers and they don't really do anything differently or better than a drugstore would do. So for me, concealer, I wouldn't splurge on that at all. Powder, that's the same thing. I'm happy with, you know, the one that I use the Fit Me powder. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it does what it needs to do to set everything. And then as far as, you know, during the day, I have to obviously, you know, powder my T-zone area because I am so oily. And that seems to do the trick fine. I wouldn't splurge on a high-end powder. Blush is the next one. Blush, I would say yes. I would splurge on blush. I find that the higher-end blushes, that they're just more pigmented. I like the way that they just go on my skin better. I think the lasting power is longer than drugstore. Not saying that I haven't found drugstore products that work good, but blush is something I would splurge on. My favorite is Tarte. I love the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. I love those. Becca has some really nice blushes. So I would say yes to splurge on the blush. Bronzer. Bronzer is the next thing. I would say yes to splurging on bronzer. The one that I use constantly every day is the Hoola by Benefit. I love that one. I do have other ones, but it's just I really never tried them out because I'm still like, I just always go to that one. So I would say yes to bronzer. Highlighters. Now this is another little tricky one. They're very tricky because there's parts that yeah you would and there's parts that no you wouldn't splurge. But highlighters, alright, let's see. Highlighters, my favorite highlighters, and I am trying to get more into highlighting. It's just that because again I'm so oily and I have that shine, I have to always sort of try to keep it back here because I don't want to draw attention to obviously my pore area because I do have, you know, very large pores and stuff like that. So, but I do enjoy highlighters. I will say that I think the best highlighters that I've tried are Becca by far. I love Becca's Opal and the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Bricks. I love them and stuff. But the highlighters is something where you can easily use an eyeshadow that you have out of any of your palettes and just rub it on that area and it looks like the same as, you know, a highlighter that you would buy. So I would say no to highlighters, no to splurging on highlighters. Face primers is the next item. Face primer, it's the same thing. I honestly haven't found a primer that I think works, you know, excellent. That's, again, my holy grail face primer. So I would say anything at the drugstore would be fine. So I would say no to splurging on a face primer. The same thing with an eye primer. I would say that you could probably find something at the drugstore. So I would say no to the eye primer. Eye bases and cream shadows, the same thing. I would not splurge on those. What is it? Like the L'Oreal, what is it? I think it's the Infallibles that have those cream shadows. They work great. They're fine. So I would definitely say no to a splurge on that. Eyeshadow. Ooh, eyeshadow is a very big thing. All right. If we're talking about eyeshadow singles, then I would say no to the splurge because NYX has some really good eyeshadow singles and stuff like that that I think are fantastic. But I'm a big eye palette girl. I love eye palettes. And all the eye palettes, not all of them, but majority of the eye palettes I own, they are, you know, higher end. They're like the Lorac Pro 1 and 2 or the Mega Pro. Yeah, obviously your Urban Decay, you know, Kat Von D. I mean, so I love eye palettes. So if we're talking about eye palettes, I would say definitely splurge. And if we're talking about eyeshadows, like just singles, I would say don't splurge. And that's probably so like contradicting, but that's, in my mind, that's how I would say that. Mascara, I would say drugstore. I would say don't splurge on it. One of my favorite ones is the L'Oreal Voluminous and also the Telescopic. I love those two. I love those two mascaras. I think they work fantastic. So I would say don't splurge or no splurge. Eyeliner. Well, my favorite eyeliner really is, now there's this again, is this eyeliner kohl pencils and then gel liners and then liquid eyeliners. I don't know, it's not separated. But honestly, for any of those categories anyway, I would say don't splurge. I mean, my favorite eyeliner is the Buxom Call Me in Call Me. I love that eyeliner. But the Rimmel, what is it, the Scandalize, that's a great eyeliner. And there's tons of great drugstore eyeliner, so I would say don't splurge. Brow products, that would be a no splurge for me. I really don't do too much with my eyebrows. I don't, you know, shape them a certain way. I don't, you know, I just don't do too much with my eyebrows. I just basically fill in, you know, the sparse areas a little bit. So I would say no splurge on that. Lip balms and treatments, I would say no splurge for the most part. I don't really have too much of drying lips. So, yeah, anything at the drugstore would be fine. I would say no splurge. Lip gloss. That's hard. I don't know. Are we considering Gerard Cosmetics as, are we considering that as splurging? Are we considering that as high end? I don't know, because they really are one of my favorite brand for lip glosses, and also I love Buxom lip glosses. But I do like NYX. I would say no. I would say no splurge. Oh gosh, I would say no splurge. See, these are hard because I do tend to go more towards the higher end, and just because it's the stuff I have. And that's the only reason. I'll tell you why. It's because YouTube made me do it. Because when I first got into makeup, not really knowing anything, whatever, not saying I know so much now, but like really being introduced into makeup, and the YouTubers that I watched were big YouTuber names, and they just promoted a lot of higher end makeup. So obviously that's what I first went to. And so obviously it wasn't until I was, you know, watching it a while and then got introduced to other YouTubers who then introduced more like drugstore stuff and stuff like that. So the first good while that I was watching YouTube and purchasing makeup, it was all higher end. So, I mean, I do own both, but I do gravitate more towards the higher end because I think it's, you know, some of the stuff I have a little bit more of. So some of these are hard. So yeah, we said lip gloss, we're gonna say no splurge. Lip colors for lipsticks. I would say no splurge, because there are, I mean, the Jordana lipsticks I love. I mean, I love both, you know, satin and, you know, I like satin, I love matte. So they obviously have their little line of matte lipsticks that they just came out with, so I love that. L'Oreal, they all have really good lipsticks. So I would say no. I would say no splurge on that. And then the lip liner, I would say no splurge. I'm not really big into lip liners. I'm just trying now to start wearing them because I have them. I actually have on a lip liner today. It's part of my little project, February project pan. But on the norm, I really don't use lip liners. And the ones, you know, like the Jordana ones work fine. So I would say no to the lip liners. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really had a fun time, obviously, going through these and answering them. Like I said, it's a lot harder when you're on the spot doing it yourself than when you're watching somebody else answer them. So, but I thank you so much, Courtney, for tagging me. Thank you so much for thinking of me and tagging me. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I want to tag all of you. And I mean it. I'm not going to write down a few people because I want everyone to do it. I don't want to just write down a few people and then just everyone think that they can't do it. So whoever wants to really participate, and I hope some of you do. I love all of you guys to do, but I hope some of you guys do participate in it to keep it going and stuff like that. It is a lot of fun to do, and it's just so fun to watch everybody else, you know, see what their answers are of what they would consider, you know, is more important to splurge on than other products. So yeah, so I will leave everything in the link below, or I'll leave everything in the description box below as far as the different categories. And please again check out Maria and Courtney's channel. They're both on Instagram too. So I hope you check those girls out and subscribe to them and show them some love. And that is it. I hope you guys had a good time. I did. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.